Hockeytown, the hope is they'll be able to take that Stanley Cup one more time.
Because of bloody absence, we had a challenge. We don't have to be satisfied about our last year, because it was already history, and it was a new year, 1998, and we have another goal to do it again.
Whenever anything has gone wrong to Detroit, they found a way to rally because they know there are bigger things in life.
It was 15 minutes to go in the third period, and looked up and we saw Vladdy sitting in the stands, and and our whole bench stood up and guys are banging on the board and stuff.
And for the Detroit Red Wings, it was a road, a long, hard road that has led to this yet one more time. They truly have displayed the kind of soul you must have to be a champion under the severe circumstances they had to play under, a tragedy, a season where they had to deal with that as well as trying to play. And if ever a team deserved to win a Stanley Cup in back-to-back years, it must be this Detroit Red Wings team.
Well, I can guarantee you there probably is not a dry eye in Hockeytown to see Vladimir Konstantinov. I mean, this is just incredible.
Since they won the cup. 3 seconds left. The Detroit Red Wings are the Stanley Cup champions!
I love it. It's best.
We've won the Stanley Cup. We've got a summer to enjoy it and start all over again. Let's make this the greatest summer of our lives.
Late broadcast reports tonight out of Michigan say that Vladimir Konstantinov of the Stanley Cup champion Detroit Red Wings is in serious condition after a one-car accident in suburban Birmingham. WXYZ and WJR are reporting that 3 members of the team, Konstantinov, another player, and one of the team's trainers, were injured when their limousine crashed into a tree. All 3 and the driver have been taken to Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oaks.
One thing you'll never forget is that phone call that we got. We were still at the golf course. We were just getting ready to take the Stanley Cup around town, and we got that tragic phone call, and right then everyone called their their wife, girlfriend, or fiance, and let them know what had happened.
I gave my portable phone to Stevie, and Stevie talked to police officer. While we were watching Stevie talking on the phone, we're like getting so nervous and so sick, like something terrible, really terrible happened, and it was the worst probably minutes of our lives right out there on the golf course.
We waited for some information where to go, and we all went over to the hospital and just tried to be with them and be with them in spirit as much as we could.
And on the way there, we drove by that spot where everything happened. The limo was just crashed, and me and Doug Brown just was terribly terrifying. What's happened to the guys? Hopefully they stay alive, and hopefully they survived.
People were asking why, this isn't fair.
Everybody was on such a high and feeling so good about themselves, and then all this happens, and it felt like you just wanted to give that cup back and just have Vlad and Sergei come back.
Expected each morning to wake up and that you were going to read in the paper that they were released from the hospital and everything was going to be normal. And day after day it kept going, and you realize that things aren't going to get to normal for maybe forever or for a long time.
As the summer came to a close, the time to defend the Stanley Cup drew near. But while the Wings gathered for training camp, it was clear their thoughts were elsewhere.
First of all, it's really hard to go to the camp and not seeing Vladdy and Sergei. It was tough to imagine how we're going to play without Vladdy, because he's the best player by far in our team last year, and wish he was here with us. But you know, it was reality, and he wasn't there, and it was a huge hole to fill.
But not the only hole. All-star forward Sergei Fedorov was absent due to a contract dispute, and Conn Smythe winner Mike Vernon had been traded to San Jose.
I think most of the guys took it as a challenge, you know, to see if we could be successful without, you know, three very important parts of the organization.
For myself personally, Mike wasn't here. I mean, he did a lot for me and helped make me the goalie I am today. And more or less, you know, I miss his companionship, but at the same time, I was excited to be on my own and do my own thing.
Well, Osgood, of course, has got the #1 tag. Now that Mike Vernon has moved on, I think he thinks he's ready, feels he's ready to take it on. It is a big responsibility.
I thought that the team felt confident in Chris Osgood for #1 goalie. And we felt that our system was really working for us. Everybody believed in Scotty's and the coaching staff's system. And the players that we added fit right in. They took the places that they were put in, they really responded, and the whole team felt like we were playing as good as we did that last season.
Despite all the changes, the Red Wings exploded out of the gate.
Here comes Detroit. Behind the play, Maltby in, Maltby holds it, score! Maltby! Step outside, step outside, step outside of your mind. Show me the way. One day you'll find a reason. Tell everybody as a friend. Trust what you feel. There's reasons to find. There's a crossroad at the end.
And the Wings soared even higher when they welcomed back number 91.
Fedorov is back in Motown.
It's been an emotional roller coaster throughout quite a few months. As everybody knows, it's been 6 months I haven't been able to play in the National Hockey League.
And it didn't take Sergei long to find his touch.
Fedorov has a breakaway. He scores. And this is why Detroit, when they matched the offer sheet from Carolina, suddenly became a threat to win their second straight Stanley Cup.
When we got Sergei back, we felt real good about our forwards. And then leading up to the trade deadline, we felt that we needed to do something on defense.
Mitya Mironov will add some offensive punch. And gritty Jamie McCowan from the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Red Wings, watch out for them, folks, because this is a great hockey team.
I think as we went down the stretch of the regular season, you could see, and myself, I could feel it really trying to get ready. We were again finished third in the conference, and don't know that we were the favorite coming in. We all felt, and we just had a taste of it last year, and to me it was really obvious to see the players want to win again. There's no question.
The Red Wings began the defense of their cup title against Phoenix, a club entering the playoffs with two of the league's most dangerous forwards, 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐿 and Jeremy Roenick.
And they were an underrated team. I thought they were real talented and they were a very good team. I mean, probably I thought of all the first-round matchups, they were the toughest team to play against for us.
Roenick and 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐿 bring a real physical presence to the ice level.
Both teams tried to establish a physical presence. Scotty's troops would not be intimidated, and their speed took over.
And the Russian unit just hounding Nikolai Khavibulin.
Chances piled up, and the goal soon followed. The scoring was contagious, and the rout was on.
It's a two-goal playoff game for Kocur. It's 5-1 Red Wings.
The Coyotes were embarrassed, but payback was only a game away.
Short-handed break by JR. Shooting. Score!
Look at Roenick again.
Here's JR. Short-handed. Roenick. Shot. Score! Jeremy Roenick has done it again.
Two shorthanders by JR ignited the Coyotes.
Talking. Gets it back. Shot. Score!
Boy, Osgood's had no chance on a bunch of these goals, and he'll be under the gun.
Just 2 games into the playoffs, Phoenix had stolen the momentum and home ice as the series moved west. Detroit was now in the badlands of America West, where danger lurked in every corner.
The shot big hit behind the goal. Always throwing his weight around again.
But Detroit stood up to the punishment. And when 19 fed 91, the Wings were back in business.
Shoots! Score!
A 2-goal cushion gave Detroit a false sense of security, because in the desert, any lead can evaporate.
You can see Osgood couldn't control the rebound. Taka was right there waiting.
Chris Osgood would face his demons a minute later.
Jeremy Roenick motors ahead. Big drive! Let's go!
We have a brand new hockey game.
The chant is the last name of the Red Wings goaltender.
Roenick found a way to finish the job.
Shoots one, score! And the Coyotes are going to win it.
What a comeback. 3 goals in the third period against the defending Cup champs.
The man who replaced the 1997 Conn Smythe winner was now under the microscope.
The only goal really in the whole series I'd like to have back would be the Roenick goal.
This has been a series in which Phoenix has been able to find a way to crack Chris Osgood.
We had a pretty good game in Game 3, but we blew a lead going into the third period, and they won the game, so they had a lot of momentum, and it was important to come back and not so much get the home ice back, but get the series tied.
Osgood's defining moment was cloaked in a sea of white.
Cannot imagine what it is like in here unless you have been here. And surrounding all of it, in the middle is Chris Osgood. This is the moment of truth for the youngster.
It was an ominous beginning. With his club reeling, Osgood needed to make a stand.
Chris Osgood made 2 saves and we were down 1-0. I think our team fed off it and Chris Osgood fed off it, and we never looked back.
Ozzy had answered the call, and the Wings were back in championship form.
Shot, rebound, loose, they score!
JR, a driving 360, booms it on, and a save by Osgood will stop the play.
The intercept of Roenick. Trying to leave Gardner. The other way, Lindstrom scores! They faced pressure on Chris Osgood. Come into this building and dominate the way they have. A great effort.
There's a lot of pressure that game. We knew we had to win that game, and we just more or less went out and did it and played our best game of the series, and I thought took over the series after that.
Detroit's superior talent surfaced, and Phoenix never recovered.
Detroit now is like the boa constrictor that's got most of the wind and most of the air out of the lungs of the Phoenix Coyotes.
And Detroit never released its grip.
Shanahan score!
And can he shoot it?
Lead ahead for Gilchrist. In on a long left. Shoots, score! Brett Gilchrist on a breakaway.
Overcoming their first hurdle, the Wings were ready for their next challenge.
The defending champions are still defending.
In the conference semifinal, Detroit faced St. Louis, a team that played its best hockey of the year in a first-round sweep of the Kings.
I mean, they're a team we played and are familiar with, but they were playing at a confidence level that we've never seen them play at before.
And right from the start, the Blues showed their confidence was well-founded.
Scott Pellers, 3-on-1. Shot, score! A short-handed goal for the Blues.
Down by Fedorov. Duchesne, a shot save. Campbell scores!
Splitting the first 2 games at the Joe, the Wings had once again relinquished home ice advantage.
This is a great war. It is a great rivalry being continued here in this playoff series.
Once again, the Wings had to respond.
McCarty shot, score! Darren McCarty, then he runs over Brad Gilbert.
What a start. Without question, the St. Louis Blues are suffering from stage fright right now.
Fill it down, boys, fill it down. Chain to McGinnis, here's the shot, he scores! Oh, baby, Al McGinnis, and they're going crazy! Yeah!
Tomas Tomas Holmstrom answered, giving Detroit a late 2-1 lead, and it seemed like time was running out on the Blues.
1 minute left to go, third period. You're heading up. McGinnis the big shot. Stop! And McGinnis has set it right. It's time to game. We're heading towards overtime. McGinnis at 19:05. 2-2 into regulation.
Going into sudden death, Osgood again felt the pressure.
Puck never crossed the goal line. Face-offs in the corner.
The Blues had their chance to gain control of the series. They would not get another.
Got off, here comes Shanahan, and Shanahan scores! The Detroit Red Wings, in double overtime, have beat the Blues 3-2, and they go on in this series, 2 games to 1.
And the Wings rode the momentum into Game 4. With Brendan playing the role of assassin, Fedorov was desperately trying to get his game up to full speed.
I felt that everything would have been a little bit easier if I just stepped up a level, and I did.
Yes, Fedorov, and scores! Sergei Fedorov! A shot in and goal! Fedorov, 4-1 game! Sergei Fedorov, the empty net goal, is 2-2 in this game. And the Blues know this one is over.
Down 3-1, the Blues also knew Game 5 was do or die in Detroit.
Let's go, Blue.
And a shot, score! The Blues have done it again. A 3-0 game and another point shot.
We were really ready to play that Game 5, but back in St. Louis for Game 6, we were right on top of our game again.
Both of these teams believe it is ultimately important to get the first goal of the game.
We've been in tough situations before, and when we faced them again this year, but when we did, I think there was a lot less panic. There was a sense of we're going to do this, we're going to accomplish this.
The face-off, Makari, he shoots and scores right from the face-off. And there you see that all-important first goal. First to speed, Brown, the shot, he scores! The Brown flying into the left wing.
Dimitri got it, let's go, huge save on Hall. There's another Holmstrom, score! Tomas Holmstrom! And the Detroit Red Wings blowing away the St. Louis Blues. This one is over, and the Detroit Red Wings will move on to play Dallas in the Western Conference Finals.
We've been through a lot, and we're really enjoying the competition of the playoffs, and we can relax for about 2 days, and it only gets harder now.
In Dallas, the Wings faced a hungry young team that was the league's best during the regular season.
They're a terrific team. They had a great year. But just like Colorado the year before, they were the #1 team. We had to knock them off. And the year before that, Colorado knocked us off. And so we knew that just because you were the best team in the regular season didn't necessarily mean you were going to be the best team in the playoffs.
And the Stars set the tone early.
What a hit! This game is developing a personality early.
Although Dallas carried the attack, Detroit scored first.
The shot, rebound, score! The Red Wings have connected on the power play.
Kozlov scores on the rebound. There was a rebound, and Kozlov was by himself. And Detroit's power play strikes first in this series.
Detroit's defense shut down Dallas's #1 star, and Martin Lapointe put the game away.
It is Rouse. Back across. McCowan walking on in. Send it across. Nobody scores! Martin Lapointe! And it's 2-0 in favor of Detroit. 4th goal in the last 3 playoff games for Martin Lapointe.
As the temperature soared in Dallas, the heat was on the Stars to win Game 2.
This is a huge game tonight. This Dallas team has got to come out big and strong in the first 10 minutes of this game. Osgood played it around Marshall to intercept. Score! Besson gets the goal! Dallas on their first shot takes a 1-0 lead.
And the physical assault continued.
So the Dallas Stars coming out here and banging the body hard against Detroit. Madonna leads it. Greg Adams. Adams shot. Score! Deflected off a defenseman's stick. And Dallas will even this series at 1 apiece as this game is over.
The Stars had sent a message, and as the series moved back to Hockeytown, it was up to the defending champs to answer.
Dallas was definitely the most physical series, and the only way that we knew the best way to answer it is to answer it head on.
Boy, the bodies are flying. They are flying out there. McCarty and LaPointe leading the way physically for Detroit.
Matching the Stars physically on the ice, the Wings were about to take control on the scoreboard.
Eyes of a near-gill pressured inside. Ariane off on the power play for 9 more seconds. Detroit with the advantage. Lidstrom will take it. Deflected, score! It's deflected off Darian Hatcher. 2-0 Detroit. Lidstrom, the shot, score! It did! It did! 3-0 Detroit. Ariane off, shot, Holmstrom, deflected, Zubov, got back. McCann scores!
The Joe is rocking.
But down 4-0 in the second period, the Stars managed to crack Detroit's vaunted defense to mount a comeback.
And this is a 1-goal game.
This is incredible.
But once again, Detroit had the answer.
Fell for it way out. Jammed it off the back end and fell down trying to draw the penalty. Inside, score! Martin LaPointe! Eddie Belfour tried to draw the penalty. He couldn't get back in net. The goal will count. And the Detroit Red Wings have won it 5-3 and taken the series lead 2-1.
In Game 4, the Wings continued the attack. And halfway through the first period, they received some unexpected inspiration.
We believe in their strength and recovery. We know that all of you believe too. Welcome back, number 16, Vladimir Konstantinov and Sergei Mametkakona.
Mike, very, very emotional. It is. It's okay to be emotional, man. This city of Detroit is very warm with its athletes. These two, man, what a scene.
Riding a tidal wave of emotion, the Red Wings would not disappoint their guests.
Steve Yzerman with Kozlov peeling off. Got it over to Murphy.
Detroit has grabbed this series with a 3-1 lead.
Back in Dallas, they were primed for the kill.
Little opening left side. Lurianov scored! Igor Lurianov! Detroit 2, Dallas 1.
But late in the third period, Dallas mounted one final charge.
Zubov leaves it near side. Cracker shot. Hit the crossbar. Goal! Oh, we're going to have an interesting one here. This game is tied at 2. It's the old gotta go home to supper. Next goal wins. Ada Bassett leaves it in the middle. Hanging root. From center ice. Jamie Langenbrunner scored. Dallas lives another day.
Everybody gets bad bounces. Everybody gets makes some plays that they wish they had back. I mean, that was one of them that I wish I could have back. But I mean, I just put things behind me. I don't think about them for a second or even a minute after it went in. I just kind of left the ice, and when I was walking in the room, I said, geez, I'm going to play the best game I played in the playoffs.
Game 6 saw Larry Murphy and Sergei Fedorov give the Wings a 2-0 lead. But it was up to Chris Osgood to make it stand.
Matvichuk got it down the middle, part of the key. What a save! Chris Osgood just redeemed himself in Detroit. Chris Osgood is putting on a show. His shot. Osgood flies it. Oh, man! The story of this game, the redemption of Chris Osgood.
You got the heart of a lion, baby!
Detroit goes to the Stanley Cup Final. They win it 2-0. Chris Osgood shuts out the Dallas Stars.
On June 9th, 1998, the Stanley Cup Finals returned to Detroit, and Hockeytown was ready.
Jersey 10 years old. Little diaper. Woo!
step.
You ever see this anywhere else? No. On this night, Detroit's hottest ticket belonged to the nearly 20,000 Red Wings fans.
Game one! It's that Stanley Cup playoff program right here.
We'll win. Stevie's going to do it.
Let's go, Red Wings!
We won last year, so hopefully we'll get a repeat this year. We're going to stomp out the Capitals.
The Wings' final foe was the Washington Capitals, led by 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐼, goaltender of gargantuan proportions.
Walks into the back, you don't have to tries to stop it. Loser, rebound, score! The Caps are going to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in franchise history. Can you believe it?
After 24 years, the Caps were just 4 victories away from their first Stanley Cup championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 1998 Stanley Cup Championship between the Eastern Conference champion Washington Capitals and the Western Conference and defending Stanley Cup champions, your Detroit Red Wings.
Well, the Red Wings have been around this title for the better part of a decade. 3rd trip to the championship final in the last 4 years. They're the defending champions. Everything seems loaded for Detroit except for one unreasonable doubt. No matter how unfair, they're trying to repeat with a different goaltender tonight. The Washington Capitals, for their part, are riding a hot goaltender. Ole the goalie, all he did was beat the Dominator.
Whenever team has the hottest goaltender, has a real good chance of winning the Stanley Cup.
Game one is underway.
The final chapter in Detroit's bid to win a 2nd straight cup was at hand. But the Capitals were on a mission of their own.
Make something happen. Let's not wait for it. It's out in front for a backhander scrambling play made by Osgood.
Here's a chance, and a good stop there by Osgood.
He's putting that pressure, boys. Come on.
Washington just probably getting rid of the butterflies.
The Caps came charging out of the gate, but Detroit's Joey Kocur countered with a game plan of his own.
Ricky hands on to Goncha. Cut off by Holmstrom. Moves ahead and hands over the ground. Holmstrom flips down the back and up and scores!
And of course, ironically, it was in Game 1 last year in Philadelphia that Joe Kocur scored a great goal. We got the Red Wings off to their Game 1 victory against the Flyers.
Come on, little enthusiasm, gang. We're in the finals. Now let's take over. Gordy, Oliver McCarty. Puck came to Eiserman. Looks for the shot.
Beautiful shot. 2-0 Detroit.
In the 2nd period, Detroit's 2-goal advantage had the Capitals feeling the heat.
Come on, boys. Up, boys, Dad.
Juno is nailed hard. Keep going here. Come on.
Detroit seems to be getting better as the game moves on.
Relax here, boys.
Here's Eiserman with a chance. Kolding with a right pass save.
Come on, boys.
Nikolation in the slot, drops it back to Zednik for a shot, save, no, score! It went in off Chris Osgood, and the rookie Richard Zednik makes it 2-1.
Detroit entered the 3rd period feeling confident, but Washington still had some fight left.
We dig in. This is a game we can win. Andra cruising. Swings one and deflected on goal and saved by Osgood. Here comes Ollie.
Intercepted by Eiserman. He anticipated the pass. And the Capitals getting back in good order, but here comes somebody off the bench. Doug Brown.
Brown sliding on through the crease.
Let's go. Pick it up.
Osgood reaches out, pokes it into the corner. Bellows center. Juno in. Saved by Osgood. Showing Juno with a chance of a lifetime to tie it up. Away by Juno. Juno moves in and shoots. Glove save by Osgood.
We don't have enough guys here who look like they believe we got this one.
Go.
Nice move by 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐼. Big shot, deflected, shoved out by 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐼, and it is remarkably underneath him somewhere.
Luck may have been on Washington's side. Time wasn't.
Come on, Ole! Pressure not on the Red Wings to attack. Right now, they're playing the clock and playing the Capitals and trying to win this first game. And the Detroit Red Wings have won Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
For the Wings, their 2-1 victory was cause for relief, not celebration.
Well, Scotty Bowman's, I'm sure, going to remind his troops tomorrow that wasn't good enough if we want to be sure and win the cup.
You can talk all you want, but now we see what it's all about. I thought Washington played a real good game for, first game of the finals, and we got to do a lot better than that.
Although Scotty wasn't pleased with his team's performance, it was the Capitals who trailed going into Game 2.
Ron Wilson's been complimented many times on his ability to motivate. He better have his best motivational speech going at this very moment because Washington has to win.
You guys know what a 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐥𝐻𝐈 is? Sai or Chief? A 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐥𝐻𝐈 is a vision and an Indian, especially a warrior like a guy like Crazy Horse would dedicate his life to that vision and dream. There was a saying that Crazy Horse had that he picked up in this dream, and his saying was "Hanta Yo," and it meant it's a good day to die. Okay? Ours will be it's a good day to lose. What Crazy Horse meant by that is he went in there fearless. He wasn't afraid to die. We can't be afraid to lose. And if we're not afraid to lose the hockey game, we'll all be better for it. Let's go, guys. Hanta Yo, baby!
Here goes, Serge. Ready, Adam? Have a good one, fellas. Good luck.
In Detroit, every night is a good night to win, and the Wings were determined at the start of Game 2.
Played by 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜𝐤𝐥𝐲 right in front. Brown, the shot, saved by 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜𝐤𝐥𝐲. Misplayed by 𝐀𝐫𝐭�e𝐜𝐤𝐥𝐲 and Doug Brown. Trying to run it home. 𝐀𝐫𝐭e𝐜𝐤𝐥𝐲 made the save.
With 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐥𝐲 under siege, Tomas Holmstrom made a key play in the corner.
And the Red Wings get that all-important first goal of the game.
It was the 6th straight finals game in which Detroit had scored first, and they continued to swarm.
𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐥𝐲 looking out in front. Backhand shot. 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐥𝐲 the save. Rebound loose. Doug Brown. Once, twice, coming up. Red Wings right now have Big Mo on their side.
Right in front of the net, McCarty. Fedorov. Oh, what a great save by 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐥𝐲. Fedorov had the empty net. It appeared.
Despite the Red Wings' constant pressure, they were only able to beat all of 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐥𝐲 once. With Godzilla holding his own, Ron Wilson ordered his troops to
attack! Both teams changing it up here. Osgood, that one runs wide. Shot on. Score! Yes! Peter Vondra! Chris Osgood thought there was going to be a whistle.
The goal. He waved it off.
I'm as stunned as everybody.
It's a goal face off at center ice, Stephen.
Suddenly, Washington found themselves with momentum, and they capitalized on their chances.
Held into the point. Save made Osgood. Rebound. Score! Unbelievable. Chris Simon.
Hanta Yo, baby!
The Washington Capitals have taken the lead for the first time in the series.
That goal scored by Vondra changed the whole complexion of this game.
Come on, boys. Found it.
Flip knocked down at center. Here's the break-in. Oh, shot. Score!
Crowd's in shock, boys.
Well, what a turn of events for Washington, who looked like they didn't belong in the same arena as the Red Wings in the first period.
A big second period for Washington now. And the Wings come back. One at a time here.
With Washington pressing in the third, a potential back-breaking penalty was called on defenseman Nicklas Lidstrom.
And there's going to be a penalty to the Detroit Red Wings.
But instead, the Wings captain dramatically changed the face of the game.
Short-handed 2-on-1. Murphy in the middle. Yzerman looking. Yzerman scores! A short-handed goal!
And just like that, the Joe is alive again.
But only for 28 seconds.
Shoot on! That's blocked in the back of the net. Right in front, score!
What an amazing rebound by the Capitals.
Now the question was, could the Red Wings rebound?
Fetisov shot blocked. Shot. Score!
third period.
Battling back to within a single goal, the Wings come back to catch just the break it needed.
Taken it right in. Missed the open net. What is going on in this period? What a wild third period here in the Joe Louis. And the crowd on its feet. The Red Wings have tied it.
And we are going to overtime.
The question is, can Washington make it 6 overtime wins in a row?
I still think back to the days that Tekin and miss. You know, there are turning points in games, but should the Washington Capitals not win this hockey game and the Detroit Red Wings go on to win the Stanley Cup, that miss could be the defining moment and the turning point in this entire series.
As sudden death got underway, the rejuvenated Red Wings were once again on the attack.
Catch your breath, everybody.
With the game winner, Fedorov in. The shot. 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜𝐢𝐞𝐬𝐥𝐲.
Draper looking to go. Oh, Riggy's falling down. Draper cuts in the save by 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜𝐿.
3-on-3. Fedorov, the 4-on-4 situation. In. Fedorov shot. Save. Fedorov shot. Knocked away.
The Wings were unrelenting, wearing down Washington past the breaking point.
Shanahan blocked it. Martin LaPointe. Center top. Stop. Chris Draper. The incredible comeback is complete.
What a night in Detroit.
And I don't think anyone from Washington saw me. I was coming in back door, and Marty just got the puck, and I just went to the net with my stick on the ice, and he made a great pass, and I just one-timed it into the open net, and I think you can tell by my smile how excited I was, and obviously still am.
The Wings' victory in Game 2 marked Detroit's 4th straight Stanley Cup Finals win at Joe Louis Arena, home of some of the craziest fans in the league.
They call it Hockeytown for a reason.
The Wings! Go! Wings!
The only thing I can compare it to is something like a college team, where there's a camaraderie between the student body and the players. They're all one, and it's special.
They're diehard fans.
The Wings have developed a cult-like following, with certain personalities at the Joe becoming fan favorites.
I love my Wings. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. You watch.
For me, it's special because, I was one of the fans in the stands before I got here, growing up across the border and being able to come over here and watch games.
Another fan right across the border is Windsor native Brad Bondi, whose display of affection is not only unique, but popular.
I get all kinds of go Wings, go Wings, go, and it's just steady, and people toot, and people love it. It's just high five, and I go for the amount of stoplight people come on, they'll high five me, and it's great. But I expect to go downtown Detroit with us, baby, when they win it all again.
And as the Wings left for Washington, they did not leave their following behind.
You go to other rinks in the playoffs, and they're loud, but it's not the Joe. It's not Red Wings fans. And the one thing that we've noticed in the playoffs, no matter what series we've been in, we've seen Detroit Red Wings jerseys everywhere. Phoenix, Dallas, St. Louis.
Plenty of Red Wing fans in the crowd tonight.
In some ways, I find it comforting, that there's a lot of people there that make noise when your team scores or when anything happens for them. Usually when anything happens for the home team, there's always a lot of noise, there's a lot of reaction. So when the visiting team comes down and something good happens and there's a reaction, it's comforting.
Stanley Cup Finals have moved on to the Capitals' home city and the capital of the United States, Washington, D.C. And there is a new star in town. Lord Stanley has pushed Ken Starr right out of the headlines as this town has gone completely cup crazy.
As the Capital Crazies arrived at the MCI Center to celebrate their first Stanley Cup game in Washington, they were quick to learn about the loyalty of the Hockeytown faithful. Away from the commotion, the Red Wings entertained themselves with a unique pregame ritual, preparing for the most pivotal tilt of the series.
Welcome to Game 3 of the 1998 Stanley Cup Championship.
Bottom line is
this team, Washington, does not believe in themselves right now. They need a hero, and I think the guy that has to do it is a 7-foot goaltender called Godzilla.
This should be a fun night. Strap yourself into your chair because you're going to enjoy it.
Let's go, Red! Let's go, Red! Come on, White! Come on, boys! Let's go now! Let's get a goal! That's it!
With orders administered and battle lines drawn, Detroit looked to draw first blood.
Meanwhile, Eisman down the left side, cuts in front, and the puck slides into the crease, smothered, rebound, score!
Only played 35 seconds on the first period, and the hole has been dug immediately for Ron Wilson's Washington Caps.
Grabbing the early lead, Detroit turned to team defense to smother Washington's big guns.
Reflected down low, the attempted setup. 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜𝐢𝐞𝐳𝐷. Mercy. This Detroit defense is unbelievable. Still one shot on the board. They got their only shot within the first 30 seconds of the game, and they haven't had one since.
More shots, boys, let's go!
When the Capitals did unleash the rubber, 𝐀𝐫𝐿 𝐽𝐼 was there to thwart the barrage.
Shot by Bellows, stop!
Peter Mondra, shot. Oh my gosh! 𝐻𝐿 𝐽𝐼 leaking. Least there be any doubt.
With Osgood drawing rave reviews at one end, his teammates were falling victim to a monstrous performance at the other.
3-on-1 chance the other way. Eisman in. Eisman shot. Save. Rebound. There is none.
The big lizard continues to cut through for Washington. Olaf Kolzig's given him a chance to win.
Inspired by their netminder, Washington resorted to capital punishment.
Let's go!
That's the best the Capitals have looked so far.
Washington's not done yet. They have been a most resilient team. Capitals on the power play here.
Go!
Chino up the near side wall. Adam Oates turning. Oates in, block, cover. Good score! Bellows ties the game at one.
And the Capitals are back in the hockey game.
Big moment in the Stanley Cup Finals.
And big moments usually call for big-time performers.
Washington already held it in. Fetisov off the board. Detroit looking up, staying onside. Fedorov's got help. Fedorov shot. He scores! Sergei Fedorov! And Detroit takes a 2-1 lead.
He is an amazing man.
It is over. The Detroit Red Wings are 3-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals.
An amazing hockey team right here. And when it's really on the line, the big names get it done. Fedorov did it tonight.
Tonight was a special night. I was on top of my game and keep putting me back out there. And then I saw opportunity. I just make a move and shut the puck on net.
The Detroit Red Wings are 1 game away.
Game 4 was against the Flyers last year was the toughest one for us to win. The Caps aren't going to roll over because they're down. They're playing at home and they want to get a win. So this will be the toughest game in the series.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the MCI Center in Washington for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
This is what you work for from the time you get drafted until now. I mean, it's to win a Stanley Cup and to be playing. And, I mean, everything in the world to me, really.
For the Detroit Red Wings, this could be an historic night.
I think this year was a little different because being there, doing it last year, now we had obviously different reasons. And we wanted to do this for Sergei and Vladdy. We wanted to do this for Ozzy. We wanted to do this for Brent Gilchrist, Dmitry Mironov, guys who hadn't tasted it before.
Is tonight the night for this team of destiny, the Wings? That is the question.
It's been a long year. We've had a lot of things happen with the accident, with Sergei and losing Vernie, and a lot of changes have been made, but we're ready.
The Capitals had their backs to the wall, and at the start of Game 4, they played like this.
If you can survive the first 10 minutes of this kind of an onslaught, things will settle down. Detroit knows it.
Get out of there, get out of there. Hey, your head, boys.
Holtz getting ready, coming in. Stop.
And Chris Osgood is coming up huge.
Right on it.
Here's Fedorov. Pass, a good one. Score! Brown took the beautiful pass.
Washington has played the best 10 minutes they've played in any first period, and here's what happened.
Detroit had withstood Washington's onslaught, and leading 1-0, they continue to attack.
Loses it. It cuts out anyway. Maltby shot kicked up. Another shot by Closer. Down goes the goalie 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜𝐞𝐳𝐜.
In the second period, the Red Wings continue to buzz around 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜.
Back up the boards. Puck still alive. Shot. Holmstrom right there. Hit 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐴. Puck backhanded off 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐴. Still loose and covered with the legs of 𝐀𝐫𝐿𝐴.
Here comes Larionov. Larionov back to the line. Lapointe with a draw. Score! Martin Lapointe with a 60-footer has given the Red Wings a 2-0 lead. This team continues to get so much mileage out of so many people. They got missile silos everywhere.
Detroit is putting enormous pressure on the Caps.
Every way possible. Here's a turnover by Detroit. Osgood again there to save the day. Rebound, score! The Capitals! And it's Brian Phillips that finally gets Washington on the board.
Although the Capitals sliced Detroit's lead in half, they could not manage to recapture the game's momentum. As the contest passed the halfway point, the Wings remained relentless.
The only thing that's keeping this close right now, again, is only the goalie. Holmstrom sends it out in front of chance. Here's score! Larry Murphy right up over the glove of Olaf Kozig and a power play goal.
And Ron Wilson can only look on and watch everything go the Red Wings' way.
Detroit's third goal effectively ended Game 4 in the series. They had answered the Capitals' final charge, and as the third period began, Detroit stood on the threshold of completing an extraordinary journey.
And the Red Wings pour it on. Kozlov coming right in. Score! Brown gets his second of the game. And you know, that might do it.
In this dressing room, in this organization, the closeness between the guys, sometimes the word family is sort of used with loose lips, but that's exactly what we are.
And they're starting to shine the cup. Boy, aren't they?
I found the most touching moment maybe when there's 15 minutes to go in the third period, and there was, I think, a whistle, and all of a sudden there was a lot of noise, and you could see everybody looking up behind the Washington net.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh, my.
Vladimir Konstantinov, his wife, Irina.
Unbelievable. And even the Washington fans put their hands together. Boy, oh boy, it doesn't get any better than that.
You know, our whole bench stood up and guys were banging on the board and stuff. And this is like 15 minutes to go in the third period of Game 4.
You know, Bob, you have to play 40 games during the season or one during the finals to get your name on the cup. Surely to God they'll put this guy down.
When we win the Game 4, and they have a Stanley Cup, it's going to be an emotional moment, because last year when we won the Cup, they didn't have a time to enjoy it, and it would be nice for them to have that kind of glory moment to share with us, and once again to see their faces smiling and to see them happy.
Bench up. Osgood with his arms up over his head coming out. The Detroit Red Wings have won the Stanley Cup for the second year in a row. That is a live shot in Detroit. And Vladimir Konstantinov is coming on the ice.
Trophy has been awarded to the captain of the Detroit Red Wings, now being congratulated at center ice by the commissioner, Gary Bettman, who hands him the Conn Smythe Trophy.
And now let's talk about Hockeytown. This is a great team, a great organization. Steve Yzerman, let's do it again. Come get the Stanley Cup.
Steve Yzerman is giving Vladimir Konstantinov the Stanley Cup, and the team surrounds him. What a moment. Oh, my.
It was a special moment, something you don't really see. I mean, it's almost like a movie script, really.
Just an amazing display of human perseverance from training camp all the way through.
And Vladimir Konstantinov will make the initial lap around the ice here at the MCI Center. I mean, this is just incredible.
And they gave it to Ozzy right away.
Tell the world, baby. Tell the world.
Well, the Detroit Red Wings had the depth, they had the leadership, and they had the coaching. And when you get those three things going in the same direction at this time of the year, here is the rich reward.
You got her again, Scotty. Time to get this baby going. Attaboy, Cuz! Yeah, come on, buddy! There we go, one more time! Oh, yeah! Is it twice as nice? Yeah, it is. Haha, got you, Nick!
Ready? Push. Push.
Oh, yeah!
Shake it. Ready?
Are you live yet?
Cover your eyes.
Next year, because we will all still believe, Vladdy will walk across this stage by himself.
You have a group of people here that cared and shared so much during this season who allowed all this to happen.
We realized coming into this year that we weren't satisfied winning once. Somehow I don't think everyone's going to be satisfied with just two. We got to keep this thing going.